should be governor and is great at campaigning to be my lieutenant governor, why wouldn't I do that? I'm an ambitious motherfucker.
Yeah, or we could just get Ninja to be governor.
Alright, okay, silence everybody, silence.
Silence! I kill you. Jeff Dunham is not funny, that's true.
Alex, did you check your PMs?
Yeah, sorry, I've just been busy. I have like a shit ton of PMs that I'm making.
Okay, you're on live right now. You're live right now.
Who's live right now?
We are. This entire channel. So if you are not supposed to be speaking, I ask that you be sort of silenced. Thanks.
Thanks. Penis.
But really, a big thank you for waiting for me. There was unexpectedly, you know, a delay.
Just before we start, I would like to say a quick but very heartfelt thank you to Chapo, who really, honestly, no joke, without all this would not have been possible. Obviously, I moved at a very inopportune time, and things ended up not going as smoothly as I thought. And Chapo, way more than, you know, stepped up to the plate, did what had to be done, withstood shit that would have broken lesser men, and, you know, really, I think we all owe him, you know, 3 cheers and a beer. You know, if you're ever in my neighborhood, you know, call me up and I'll buy a smoked meat sandwich.
All right. So are we ready to start? Alright, so welcome everybody to the election stream today. So basically, I'm going to be your host. My name is El Chapotato. I'm the assistant deputy speaker and the guy who ran the election today. And well, here are some other hosts. So Ninja.
Oh, my turn.
Yeah,
Sup?
Ninja. So introduce yourself.
Give me just a second. I'm drinking some water.
How about Teddy? Teddy, are you there?
Yes, hello. I am the new Teddy, and I'm going to be your political analyst for tonight.
Alright, yeah, and Ninja?
Sup? I'm Ninja. As most of you can tell, I have a really... I'm pretty sure I'm handling interviews tonight and making commentary. That should be fun. And... my previous positions include I'm the speaker in one of Model US Gov states, and I'm running to be the MP for the Greater Toronto area.
Wait, shit. Okay, so that was unexpected, but yeah, we're gonna like move on right now. So here tonight, we're gonna have to see some key races throughout this. So today I've highlighted some areas to watch. So basically, we have the Greater Toronto area. So as we know, the GTA has been here for a lot of campaigning. So Ninja, you've been part of the campaigning as a candidate for the GTA. So how was your campaign and also the campaign of other people around there?
GTA was a hot spot for campaigning this time. I would say the two biggest campaigners were me and Dominion of Camp. Dom, I think, ended up having a total of 21 rallies, and it was really competitive. It will not surprise me if the CPC pulls out 2 seats tonight, but I'm going to go ahead and guarantee they get at least one. I think, is it the Radical leader that's running in GTA as well?
Yeah, the Radical leader is running also in the GTA Parsa.
Not to be like a rude, but I would say the CPC and NDP, between the other parties, there wasn't a whole lot of activity, but still, like, I think there was a total of 30 plus rallies / events in total over the last week there.
Yeah, there has been a lot of campaigning going on. Just Dominion, I can say that he has held 20 events, which is pretty much the highest that we have seen. Otherwise, we have Dominion Ninja, who has also been active. We also have Burley Alec, who is the Foreign Affairs Minister in that area, and also Vanilla Dona, who has also been very active since he joined the Sim. Also, we do have Parsa, the leader of the Socialists. We also have some other places to watch, which is the Interior and Vancouver Island. Interior Vancouver Island is currently where Haley 182 is standing, the current leader of the Socialist Party. Basically, Haley, she is the leader of the Socialist Party. The Socialist Party has been going on for a rough time, so we're gonna also see how it's gonna go right now. We also have Alberta going at this moment, where the Conservatives are trying to vie for several seats. However, we have Zhang, a newcomer who has got there a lot, who has dropped in at a later moment and has gained a lot of support in the area. And also we have rest of Quebec, where the leader Weibo is currently running at this moment. So those are some key races to watch at the current moment. So now,
before we continue,
yeah.
Protester, we don't do voting.
Yeah, we here have simulator elections because it's based on your activity and also your campaigning. Now
simulator elections are the best elections.
So now we're gonna talk about maybe the parties itself. So first of all, the NDP. If anybody wants to talk about it, and then Joe or Teddy.
I say we both talk on it. I'll put in some stuff, and then he can put some stuff in. From what I haven't been around for this term, but I went back and looked at it. From what I can tell, the NDP has pushed a lot of legislation. They haven't had the best voting record, and the Liberals did a pretty good push throughout the term, did a lot. That's why I think there's a decent chance Libs pull out the biggest party tonight, but we'll see what happens.
Alright, so now let's just go on maybe to Liberals. I'm just gonna maybe speed this up a bit, so yeah, if you excuse me for a second. So the Liberals, basically they have got the most legislation, also a 99% voting record, so that might reflect onto this. They also have seen a very large benefit from being the previous government, getting all the mods from there, and also however, their backbench has been fairly inactive compared to some other parties. To continue on, we have the Socialists, who have been very battled throughout the election. So basically, the Socialists lost a major candidate during the election. Also, has split into 3 different parties: the Socialists, the ACF, and also the Radicals. They also have a very low membership at the moment, so that might reflect into their results. Now to continue, we have the Conservatives. They have been a very stable force in opposition. They have played a large role within question periods. And also, they have gotten a sudden large gain of seats in midterm. Yes.
On the Conservatives, like I said, I think they're the party that is going to the biggest gains tonight.
Maybe, so
that's
we'll
just
have to see it maybe, I suppose. Now,
I could be wrong, but that's my gut feeling.
Yeah. All right. Also, the Libertarians. So, Libertarians, they controversially gave all their seats to conservatives during the middle of the government. They also were a major force, however, when they were in parliament. Also, they had a subpar voting record when but they're running one candidate this election.
Well, one of the interesting things about the Libertarian Party is that although they wipe themselves off the map in many ways, is their single candidate is Lyra. Now, we have seen around the world recently with a lot of different populist elections, populists do well, and it'll be interesting to see if Lyra can continue that trend.
All right, now to basically continue on. So the next one, we have the Liberty Party, which is the Libertarian Reform, which is now renamed. So the Liberty Party was formed by former members of the Libertarian Party. They disagree with the leadership of Lyra. They have a very low Senate record, however, has made very free speech-based motions when they were in there. Also, next up, we have the ACF, formed by former members of the Socialist Party. They were plagued with scandal when they formed, basically when people called them fascists. They have currently 2 core members that are very active and has participated in Bill Rush at the end of the term, which helped them boost their popularity. Now, next up, we have the Radicals. Radicals formed by the former leader of the Socialist Party, and also he is considered to be, the party itself is very new. However, it has a lot of high-profile membership that might help boost its results in some areas.
It'd be interesting to see just how many high-profile people get elected in this new party.
Yeah, so now let's just continue on. So we're gonna here's a recap of the electoral regions. So we have the Northern Territories, which are formed by all the territories, and most of the regions are a compromise of either the most of the province geographically or the metropolitan area, as you can see on this map here. So now, let's just continue and see how the previous election has run. So as we can see, previous election there were 41 seats. So the NDP itself have had 11 seats, which were the biggest party. As we now know, the NDP and Liberals and the Socialists form a large majority coalition. However, it stands to be seen how whether or not the coalition will continue, and very likely that we will see a new coalition come next.
I see Libs in a coalition no matter what. It's a toss-up as to who will be joining them in that coalition.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so the indications so far showed that it'd be very hard for them to gain a majority in this. However, it'd be interesting if there is a third party that is able to come join in, I guess. Now,
I think there's a chance we see a 2-party, but that's iffy.
Yeah, I've doubted because of the nature of this election is using a state leg, which is very balanced. So it favors a lot of small parties more and helps boost their results. Alright, so now we're going to see the last polling that was done so far. So we have the pre-election polling. So basically, as we can see, the Liberals are currently leading at 25.4%. The NDP and the Conservatives are pretty much in a statistical tie right now. And also, we add behind, we have the Libertarians, the ACF, the Radicals, the Socialists, then the Libertarians. We also have the CHP, which are polling at a meager 0.2%.
Out of every party in this poll, I could see the ACF underperforming. I can see the Libs overperforming, doing much better than what they got.
Alright, so now, as we can see here, as the election results are coming in, we now have a small bar that will be at the bottom that is able to help us track the election results throughout the entire night. So now, since it's 7 p.m. EST, the polls have closed in Atlantic, and also they have announced the results. So here are the results for Atlantic. So this is the current vote total. So does anybody want to maybe give a small explanation at this current moment?
I'd say that out of all of these, did not expect ACF to be leading. Radicals are doing a little better than I was expecting, and so are the Libertarians.
Elder System, well, like I suppose that the ACF itself, or the candidate there, Kim, has, well, done a fairly good job when it comes to proposing bills, and also most of their bills have been proposed by him. So
yeah, I think what we're seeing is a lot of vote for the hometown boys. Kent is clearly leading that ACF vote, and we have people like Few Buffalo pushing the Liberty Party vote up. I think Jack's quite a strong representative from the NDP. And the Liberals, I think a lot of that strength is actually coming from James on Prince Edward Island.
Yeah, so basically now we have a we're gonna know who the seats are going to. Now Atlantic seat distribution. So first up we have Kim, second of all we have James, third we have Jack, and fourth we have Few Buffalo in this area. So basically nobody really expected Kim to do that well, and also people mainly expected perhaps James to do better in that area, perhaps. And also it's a bit surprising to see that the Conservatives have not gained any seat within this region, correct?
What was I about to say? Plato, do you have the bios for these people or no?
Well, yeah, I have the bios. So Kiv is very known for living with his crab, and he was a former member of the NDP himself. James is the current longest serving member in the House. He has been representing PI for a long period of time. So now I'm just going to quickly send over the link to all the bios that they have, so in case they want to, yeah. What else? Jack B123 has also been a long-standing member of the NDP himself. He has been the chief whip for the NDP for a duration now. And also we have a Few Buffalo, which was one of the people, the current party president of the Liberty Party, and also he was one of the members that have left while the whole situation happened and got kicked out of the party. So now if we're gonna see the total number here, so this is going to be the seat allocation total at this current moment for the Atlantic. And also we are now able to announce the adjustment seat for the Atlantic, which is going to also go for the Liberal Party.
Not a huge surprise. It's what won't surprise me if a lot of the hung seats get picked up by the Liberals tonight.
Yeah, a lot of people, I suppose, are expecting the Liberals to do very well within nationally, since they have been, constantly leading the polls and such.
I could see the polls being wrong in this, and either the NDP or the Conservatives point ahead, but based upon the polls, the Libs are definitely at an advantage right now.
Yeah, however, we also just know that since this is the Atlantic, also the first results of the night, this is going to be, a pretty early result, and also it does not really tell us what is going to happen nationally.
Yeah, that is very true.
So now on, we're just going to currently move on the moment. So now we're going to talk about Quebec. So this is this is rest of Quebec, which is also the place where Wagbo were also the leader of the Conservative Party currently is running in. So it looks like the Conservatives are having a healthy lead at the current moment, followed by several parties which are in a very close margin at the current moment.
I think we can clearly see the Wagbo effect here in the rest of Quebec, moving his party with such a strong lead over the others in the area.
Yeah. And also, when we did the constituency poll, it feels like Wagbo has been underperforming in the area as opposed to usual, right? Yeah, and now let's just going to move on. Now we have Greater Montreal, which is currently being led by the Liberal Party, for the Liberal Party, the person who is running is Feline Nibbler, who is currently the deputy leader of the party, and we also have different strong party members and backbenchers such as Unionist Catholic for the Conservatives coming second, the NDP led by Nuke Mouse, which is also a strong MP for them, and also we also have Bumblebee Socialist Party who has come last within this election. So now,
as a whole, from what I can tell, throughout the night, the NDP has been underperforming compared to what was expected. The Libs, I think, are staying about where they expected. From what I can tell, it's a split between the Conservatives and the Libertarians that are really seeing gains from what we were expecting.
So right now,
that may just be me.
It seems like the Conservatives are very happy on the Discord stream right now. So basically, now let's take a look at the seat allocations and who the seats are going to. So if we have rest of Quebec, at first is Ward Wagbo, at second is going to be Desmond. At third is going to be Matt K3P, a newcomer to the NDP, however prominent in the United States, and also Mr. Sir Vibe representing the Radical Party in this election.
It's good to see somebody like Vibe returning. That'll bring a lot of different views to this parliament.
However, we also need to note that we are missing Midnight 1131, which is a incumbent of the Liberty Party. So now just let's look at the Greater Montreal at the current moment. So Greater Montreal, similar story. So we have first is Feline Nibbler, and second we have Unionist Catholic. Third is Nuke Mouse, and fourth is the deputy leader of the Liberty Party, Thomas Cochrane.
Very strong bunch returning from Montreal.
Yeah, so Feline, who has been traditionally active and also been led the fight against the Dungeness Crab situation, has been elected very strongly tonight and has gotten a first place finish. So now let's move on to rest of Quebec. So this is going to be the total seat allocation for the rest of Quebec. As you can see, at the bottom of the screen, we are currently updating the bar so you can track the following vote totals. Also, now let's move on to Greater Montreal. So we have the NDP at number NDP 1 seat, Liberal 1 seat, Conservatives 1 seat, and also the Liberty Party at 1 seat. So that takes the Liberals to the lead at the current moment with 4 seats versus the NDP's 3 seats, and the Conservatives and Liberties ties of 2 seats at the current moment.
I would say our more like left-wing viewers are happy thus far. As it appears as a whole, your more parties that scour across the left wing of the political spectrum are doing well tonight, at least seat pickup wise. Vote wise, I would say your right wing parties will be happy because so far from what I can tell, your right wing, like conservatives and things on those lines, are doing well, total vote wise.
Yeah, so basically another the major story that has been developing from this is that for the socialists, we have both immigrating is hard at rest of Quebec, and also we have Bummer v. Greater Montreal, neither of which have got remotely enough seats to win their constituencies. So that is currently 2 out of the 3 candidates that the socialists are running. So basically, the entire hope of the socialists gaining a seat is either in the leveling at the current moment, or it's going to be at the interior of Vancouver Island, where Haley 182, the leader, is going to be standing. So now let's take a look at who the adjustment seats are going to go to. So for Quebec adjustment, 1 seat is going to the Liberal Party, another seat is currently going to the Conservative Party.
What I would expect in this, like, makes sense for how the vote total came out.
Yeah, so basically, Liberals and the Conservatives have both led the regions a lot, and also what they have gained both of their adjustment seats throughout the election, causing them to basically because they have gained a lot of votes. So basically, right now, since no one is going to be here at the current moment, it looks like we're going on to Ontario at the moment. So first off, we have Northern and Eastern Ontario, where VMK barely leads by about 700 votes compared to Karamde, who comes at a very close second at this current moment.
Running against each other?
Sorry? Yeah, the 2 leaders are running against each other, meaning that there has been a very close election, and basically is a test of, VMK's leadership, and despite the Liberals having the lead, I guess, I suppose VMK himself has got a larger vote, I suppose. Also,
I think VMK has helped from the fact that he's been a active prime minister, and that his party in general, I would say, has done a pretty decent job while in government.
Yeah, exactly. So now he so basically the NDP has meaning that VMK is quite a popular leader still, and also they prefer VMK as a leader at current moment versus Carroll, I suppose, in their constituency. Also,
before we continue,
yes,
it has been requested by someone on Discord that I say Caro.
Yeah,
Caro.
I say I also have been requested by Carol and also or Carol. Anyways, another story is about Pig Bam at the current moment. Pig Bam, who has also led a very energetic, populist approach, has got the 3rd seat within this. However, he trails a bit compared to the leaders naturally because Pig Bam is at a lower stature compared within their parties compared to Carol and also BMK.
Generally, I would say populism has on a pretty significant rise worldwide. So it's not surprising to me that it's made some ground in Canada as well.
Also, now we're gonna go ahead to another big riding. And now, so now up next is Greater Toronto Area.
Big battleground.
Big battleground. However, brilliant Alex manages to somehow edge out Dominion of Canada in a complete surprise by about 2,000 votes.
Conservatives are going to be shocked by this.
Yeah.
Okay. Those results came out very different than what I saw.
Yeah, so basically, what has happened is that, well, like, it has been caused by different adjustments, and also afterwards. So it seems like that the liberal base of which they have a height of is able to help support Brilliant Alec in the situation. However, we also have Dominion, who has a very strong personal appeal, being unable to currently bounce off of his party's comparatively lower basically appeal to the conservatives, and also that's why Brilliant Alec has managed to edge out Dominion of Canada by about 2,000 votes.
Yeah, I think part of the reason here, if we're actually looking at these results, is what clinched it actually might have been the second place candidates, where you had the Liberals running someone like Vanilla Donut, and I honestly think that one of the things that pushed it over the edge was the fact that the Liberals had that second place candidate perhaps in a bit of a stronger position.
So the thing is that with Dominion Canada, it has been a mainly a Dominion effort, and also we do not really seen the other places on the trail so far, which is why they have not gained as much attention compared to.
Can I ask that we look back at least compare the numbers to how Dominion did compared to the conservative leader, Wagbo, probably pronouncing his name wrong, votes overall, seeing how well he did compared to...
Well, there are more votes in the area, of course, which will bias thing. I think when you actually look at these results, you could just replace that conservative logo with Dominion. This is a vote for Dominion. And although Alec does lead the Liberal list, I believe that Dominion really has won Toronto.
Yes, I agree with you on that. This has been Dominion's race. It wasn't the other candidates pushing through. I would say the only party that's really had all of its, at least more than one of its candidates pushing, has been the Liberals. Because, like, I know for a fact in the NDP we haven't had, aside from me, campaigning.
Alright, so now to continue now, we're going to go on to Southwest Ontario, which has also been showing. It has been certainly crowded. However, we have Lyra, who has been requested to be represented by that logo. So basically, we have the Liberals coming first, who is led by former Assistant Deputy Speaker Nantia Yansauer Aiden. And at second, we have Lyra, who has personally a lot of support in that area at this current moment. So basically,
personal vote.
According to someone in the YouTube chat, Terrain, it is pronounced Wagarino.
So now we also have the independent candidate who Joester has 54 votes. Unfortunately, he says he did not was not part of a party, and also he came very late. He was unable to get that support that he so desperately needed. So basically, now let's look at the seat allocations for this entire area. So for Northeast Ontario, so at first we have Wendy Machine King, the leader and the Prime Minister. We also have Carroll, who is the leader of the Liberals, and we also have third, we have Pig Bam.
Pig actually was a former leader himself, so we're having three leaders being returned.
Yep, and now we're going on to Greater Toronto Area. So at first we have Brilliant Alec, number 2, Dominion Canada, number 3, Ninja Dragon, number 4, Parsa has the leader of Toronto, the Radical Party has been elected.
Congratulations to my colleague here, Ninja.
Thank you. Pretty much seats how I expected it to play out. One per major party.
Yeah, so basically, however, it also has been a show of how Vanilla Donut seemingly has helped Brilliant Alec to get into his position at this current moment.
But yet, unfortunately, he doesn't get the seat. We'll have to see how he does on that adjustment.
Yeah, so now Now it's time to look at the Southwest Ontario seat distribution. So at first we have Aiden, at second we have Lyra, at third we have Phonexia, who has led a very locally based campaign, and also we have Adam, who is a member of the Conservative Party, and also the Penner.
I have to give Phonexia credit. I would say he was a very active candidate in this area, and the NDP votes were carried majority by him.
It's unfortunate this was such a crowded race. There were quality candidates like Ace and Surux that just weren't able to get elected here.
Very true.
Okay, so now if we go on next, so now we're going to talk about the seat distribution. So conservative, we have NDP and Liberal Conservative gaining 1 seat. And up next we have Greater Toronto area, where we have all 4 of the major parties within this area gaining 1 seat each, and we have Southwest Ontario, where NDP gains 1, Liberal, all 3 major parties, also the Libertarian Party, which has also gained 1 seat. Alright, so now we're going to move on from Ontario, and also, yeah, sorry, there has been a small error within this. This is the current Ontario adjustment seat system, so we have the NDP, Liberals, and the Conservatives all gaining 1 adjustment seat from Ontario.
Very interesting results there.
Yeah, so at the current standing after Ontario, we're going with NDP has 7 seats, Liberal 9 seats, Conservative 7 seats, Liberty and Radicals 2 seats, and also Libertarian ACF 1 seat each.
Now, do we know who's actually managed to nab these adjustment seats?
Well, like these adjustment seats belong to their party, which means that the party is able to assign those to hopefully whoever helped gain second in those respective ridings. However, these seats are going to go towards that and not particularly towards a party, from what I've heard. However, if it's going to go with it into an individual, we're going to announce them later on, and also going to announce the specific winners of each.
I'd say, from what I can tell based upon the results tonight, if things keep going how they're going, unless one party comes out of nowhere and starts picking up a lot of seats, we're looking at the Liberals as the base of the government, and they get to either choose if it is going to be more right-wing or more left-wing. Because from what I can tell, it's looking like you're going to see Conservatives and NDP with very close results tonight. Maybe 1 or 2 off from one another. But the Liberals are ultimately going to decide who will form the government.
So now going to move on from Ontario. So now we're going to go towards the prairies, where the current vote total has taken place, whereas the Liberals are led by Nada Bonobo, who is the deputy leader of, and also have been a very prominent writing votes for that area. Also, we have at second place, we have Red Wolf 177, who should be here and hopefully ready to talk to us. And also we have the NDP Polaris coming as 3rd place, and also we have the 4th place Spindleshire at this current moment.
It's very interesting that the sitting MP Soda 634 will be looking like he's missing out.
Yeah, Soda 634 has in this area gotten a very low amount of votes. Maybe perhaps I believe that the voters are not very satisfied with Soda's apparent inactivity, and perhaps the lower voting record on the general. So
we have Red Wolf here tonight. He'll be joining us for discussion in this area at least. So, oh gosh. Red Wolf, can you hear us and can you speak?
Yes, I can hear you.
what's your initial reaction to the Liberty?
You cut out there. Can you repeat that?
What's your initial reaction to how the Liberty Party is doing tonight?
Well, but honestly, we didn't contest a lot of these seats. Like 2 of the Ontario seats we didn't contest. That wasn't an issue. We won in Montreal and we won in Atlantic, which was good. Confident about the Greater Toronto area. So I think we were close, but honestly, we didn't expect to win. It was tough to lose rest of Quebec. I know Midnight was a strong MP for us, a very long-serving MP. He was former Liberal, but he's been in the Sim for a long time, and I was upset that he did not win.
How do you feel about your success thus far in the prairies?
Yeah, I think that we're looking pretty strong. We're second place here. I know the Liberals are quite a bit ahead of us, but I could see us taking.
Yeah, so now we're going to move on to Alberta, which is also a very competitive area. So at first we have the Radicals, which is like saying about 477,000 votes, and we also have the Conservatives by Stevie at about 278,000 votes, Liberals behind, and then to round out we have the NDP and the ACF.
This is definitely a strong vote for Jean.
So yeah, so basically it seems like Zhang himself has been a very strong up in this area, and also have seen that this is the highest. There is a very high number of constituencies within this area, 5 actually, which means that this might mean that one party might get 2, or it's going to be distributed equally around all. So now let's just look at how the seat allocation is going to go. So the prairies, at first we have Nada Bonobo, at second we have Red Wolf 177, at third we have Polaris, and at 4 we have Spindleshire, who is part of the Conservatives. So now we're going to move on to Alberta, which is going to show us. First we have Omir Dangboy, and also at second we have Stevie, Very Purple Slug for Canadian, and 5th Ice Cream Sandwich for the ACF, who is surprisingly tonight getting a seat.
What's interesting is that much of this vote for Jiang Tong has been concentrated because he's the only candidate, so we don't quite know who's actually going to win these adjustment seats here in Alberta.
Yeah, so now let's basically go move on to the prairies. We have NDP and Liberals and Conservatives, and also the Liberty Party all getting 1 seat. And now to the Alberta, NDP 1, Liberal 1. Basically, all parties contesting except the Liberty Party has gained a seat within this region here. So now let's move on to see the adjustments. So for the adjustments, we have the Liberals and the Conservatives each gaining 1 seat within this area.
So it looks like there's a possibility that Cam will get a seat.
Yeah, it's probably the chances are that Cam should get a seat, considering that out of he's probably the second highest ranking member within the Alberta Prairie, so it would be pretty surprising to not see him win at the current moment. However, it stands to see how these are going to be distributed, and whether or not if it belongs to the Conservatives, or not they're going to give it to Cam, or they're Ben the Big Boss, or they're going to give it to somebody else. If these seats eventually belong to the party, which hasn't been decided yet. So now let's just move on to the final portion. So now we're going to see the Northern Territories, where it has been a very dull campaign. However, we have Liberals at number 1, NDP at number 2, Conservatives at 7,000, and ACF 5,606 votes.
And I'd say these results are more or less from your hardcore I'm for sure going to get out and vote NDP no matter what. For sure going to get out and vote Liberals no matter what. At least that's my perception on this.
So, and also now we're going to just move on. Interior of Vancouver Island. Now, this has been a region of C.J. Rowlands, who has been a very strong member of the party president of the NDP, and also behind them Zero Alliance, also a Canadian man, GP, who is trailing the Liberals by about 1,000 votes. However, in this riding, we also have Haley 182, who is unable to beat the 3 members threshold, as has therefore not been re-elected within her region.
This will be devastating to Haley and the Socialist Party.
Yeah, the Socialist Party, none of which have been able to gain a single seat within the regions that they have ran in, which is sort of unfortunate for them. And behind are going to be the Libertarian Reform and also the CHP. So now continuing on to the final region of the night. So we have Vancouver and Lower Mainland, who whereas the Liberals have gained about 345,000 votes, mainly from an unknown user, a very strong backbencher within the Liberals. And we also have the NDP trailing second by 48, and also at third we have the Conservative Party at about 4 at the current moment.
Looks like the rain will be getting back in here. And that's excellent, as on the last annual Terrain Day, I think we all enjoyed ourselves.
So basically now, so from these results, so we're able to basically give a final amount of seat allocations. So for Northern Territory, I got that master plan is going to be number 1 as number 2 Daring Philosopher, and number 3 Karboga. And now to continue for the interior of Vancouver Island, we have CJ Rowlands at number 1, we have Zero Alliance at number 2, and we have Canadian Man GP at number 3, barely trailing by 1,000 votes. And now to continue on to our final region of the night, we have number 1 unknown user 717, number 2 for 88, and number 3 Sterling Pound, who will all be returning towards the Parliament. So do we really want to make some final commentary tonight?
I think we need to see the adjustment seats first.
Yeah, so now let's just go see the distribution. Yeah, NDP Liberal Conservatives all one.
I would say that the big thing that comes out of the night for the Socialists is they need to rethink how they are doing elections and how they are ultimately going to work things out.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but at this moment, you're going to see the Libertarian Reform has not gained 9 seats within this region, that they have gained 0 seats. I do not know. It probably was a typo by the graphics department. We apologize for the error. So now we're going to move on to final region adjustment seats of the night. So basically we're going to go towards the BC and North adjustments. So Liberals gain 1 more seat and the NDP gains 1 more seat. So that makes
unfortunately for Haley, this was one of her last chances to get in. We still do have the final 3 national adjustment seats, but it looks like she will not be returning at this point.
Like I said, I definitely see coming out of this election the Socialist Party either reforming or all out collapsing and joining with and its members flowing to another left-wing party.
So yeah, now tonight after BC, we currently stand at 51 seats. We have the final 3 adjustment seats throughout the country. This is going to be the last results for the night. So we have here the Libertarian Reform gains 1 seat, Socialists have 1 seat, and also the Radicals gain 1 seat.
So this is the saving grace for Haley and the Socialist Party. This single seat, which just appears as a simple logo on the screen, could change the way that the politics works in this country for years to come.
Again, I don't see the Socialists coming back from this. I could see them next term somehow doing facing even more damage after this, but I can't 100% predict that. You know what I mean?
It'll also be interesting to see the Radical Party. There are some great people in the party, like Soda or French Baguette, that did not win tonight, and it'll be interesting to see if they are put in with this extra seat.
And also we have the Liberty Party, who has also run a campaign, who is currently standing at the final 4 votes. So yeah, this is going to be held. Sorry, continue. Yeah.
No. You can finish. Mine's more of a general topic.
Yeah, I'd rather you go first.
Okay. This is gonna sound little like jumping the gun, but out of all of the parties and out of all the potential build-ups for the government, what do you all see happening? Do you see a minority government forming? Or do you see something that's more predictable, like conservative NDP, not conservative NDP, conservative libs, NDP libs, something along those lines?
So the thing is that it's either going to be depending on who will want to work together. If the Liberals go with either the NDP or either Conservatives, they gain a majority. However, if we see a con-NDP will not be a majority.
Yeah, con-NDP, despite the fact how much everyone loves to meme and joke about it, won't be able to form a government this term.
It would be.
I think there's a possibility of a 3-party coalition. That has been poo-pooed, but you have to remember we're just coming out of one right now. And although it may have been a bit slow in some aspects, it has generally been in operation. There are some ways for a government to be formed without the Liberal Party, but I do think we all have to admit that, in short, the Liberal Party has won this election.
Yes, the Liberals have gained massive ground in this election. Like, no way to avoid that. The Conservatives have made some considerable gains. If memory serves, they picked up 5 seats, and the Liberals have picked up, I want to say, 6 or 7.
About 8 actually. So they
have picked up 8
from the previous election. Yeah.
Yes. So the Conservatives and Liberals are the parties looking at. I may be wrong on this. I think the NDP picked up 1, or they may have lost 1.
They have gained 2 actually.
They gained 2.
Yeah.
Right now I have Red Wolf wanting to come in and comment on something.
Well, just before he does, I wanted to add in that the you have the 3 big parties. The other parties combined have taken 12 seats, which puts a clear barrier between the larger and smaller parties.
I'm gonna go ahead and add Wolf. Let's see what he has to say about it.
So, Red Wolf?
Red Wolf, can you hear us?
So, right now I'm just going to take a short break. I'll come back soon during the interview.
Red Wolf, what do you think of the election results for them?
A comment earlier, we had technical difficulties. When you asked about if there's going to be a majority government, I'm almost certain that that's not going to happen. I think that we can reliably see a minority government. I'm almost willing to bet on that. That's something that I'm really sure is going to happen.
Interesting. In said majority government, who do you see coming together in that?
Earlier, I predicted that Carroll would be the prime minister, like almost guaranteed. I think that's still a reasonable assumption. He could go with the Libertarians, the Liberty Party, the Conservatives, the NDP. Those are all parties that the Liberals have coalition with in the past, and he would be larger than all of them. All those, I think, would be minorities, but they're minorities where you could get supply from another party. Like, I know that my own Libertarians were willing to supply other governments if we really think that they're a good option for Canada.
Interesting. What do you have to say about the general makeup of tonight's seats in the election? anything to comment on like the socialist underperforming or arguably the conservatives as a whole overperforming?
No, I really didn't expect the socialists to do better than one seat. I honestly don't think that Haley really deserves a seat. I don't want to be mean to her, but she didn't have a great voting record. She didn't write any legislation. She didn't debate very much, and you can see that she had to get a national overhang seat. So I think that's really a good sign of what people are thinking about her.
Do you see Haley actually getting this seat, or do you see someone else in the Socialist Party contesting for it?
There's no reason that she couldn't just give it to herself. I believe that the party leadership has the right to give the seat to whoever they want. Most parties would probably go with an election, but I mean, if the leader doesn't have a seat, the leader's going to take a seat.
It will be interesting to see if there is some kind of coup attempt, perhaps, against her to assign that seat to someone else.
Well, is there anybody left to coup? Like, they don't have a lot of members in their party anymore. I know Popcorn is still around. An election.
But the question is how many.
I'm seeing some people saying that we could see a liberal, and I'm seeing other people saying that we're almost guaranteed to see a liberal. So that ought to be interesting to see how that plays out.
The only other possible thing that I could predict is conservative NDP, but that's pretty unlikely if we're going to
Again, the thing with conservative NDP is that it has 26 seats, whereas if you want a majority government, you must have 28 seats. So they must get a third partner if they want to have a stable majority to speak.
I wouldn't rule out giving them a supply for a throne speech. That would let them have a minority government.
So
now, I know this is a strange question, but which party do you see following through with all? Which ones do you see not really doing that, and which ones do you see coming in with maybe some, but not enough to necessarily please their constituencies?
Sorry, see, again, you cut off during the middle.
Which parties do you see maybe following through on all of their campaign promises? Which parties do you see not really doing so? And which ones do you see it being like a toss-up? Like maybe they'll do something they said they do.
That is going to be very hard to say.
I don't think the socialists are going to follow through. I think they're pretty small. They're going to do some things, but I don't think they just have the membership to do everything.
Have these socialists made a platform?
They may have. I haven't read it. If there is one.
Yeah, I suppose so. We don't really know what the socialists have been promising, except strong anti-establishment politics. And then, what else? So, another thing is how the Radicals versus the ACF. Clearly, tonight, mostly based on the membership, the Radicals have gotten double the seats of the ACF. However, that isn't very large to comparison, so they're all both small parties. So basically,
I see potentially the Radicals continuing to grow over time. Maybe not next election we see them becoming a formidable, but I could see them becoming a much, much bigger pain in the side of the major parties in the future.
So, yeah, that should be it. Does anybody want to make some final commentary?
Not that I can think of aside from saying thank you to everyone who tuned in. And it's going to be interesting to watch what happens with all of these things over the next couple of weeks. Like seeing which parties form government, which parties form the opposition, which ideology ends up egging it out in forming this government and pushing forth their policies.
Yes, this definitely will be a process to watch.
And I think that this shows that you can't, and I think this election to a degree kind of shows that you can't predictions. Like, I know Teddy's prediction was that liberals would get 1 more seat and that conservatives would get 3 less. You know what I mean? Like, this just shows that projections aren't necessarily always right.
To be fair, the projections don't really know how this election is going to go either way either. Teddy, do you want to make a final statement?
Well, I think we've seen, an interesting night for sure. It's been a bit of excitement. We saw Haley manage to get in through the last possible moment. We have seen the demise of the Socialist Party. We've seen the rise of some of the new parties on the left and the right, and the return of Lyra as Libertarian leader to the actual Commons itself. And we have seen the clear grouping of 3 larger parties and a number of smaller parties. And I think it'll be interesting to see how the dynamic between all of that plays out in the coming term.
Yeah, so this is definitely going to be an interesting government, mostly because how unstable each coalition might be, and how it's going to be interesting to see who they're going to bring on as a third coalition partner. So, I believe that I should conclude the broadcast right now.
Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Yeah. Thanks to all of the listeners, and I especially want to give a big thanks to El Chapatado, who has, excuse my French, but fucking blown it out of the park with his awesome job. Everybody please give 3 rounds of applause to El Chapatado.
Hear, hear.
Hear, hear.
Thank you. So, basically hosting this election has been a very large challenge, so I spent a lot of sleepless nights thinking about it. However, it's going to be a pretty big relief for me that this has been over. And also, after this, I'm going to finally make a reflection, and afterwards I'm just going to lay around those city skylines, something that I haven't done for a while. So basically, thank you for the community for having supported me, and also a big thank you for everybody to trust me with the responsibility of handling this. On behalf of the mod team and on behalf of the elections night, I wish everybody a very good night, and for our European viewers and also our Western viewers, of course, they're going to have a different time. However, thank you all for tuning in, and I will bring us to the outro to play us out.
I guess while everybody's listening, I would just like to say a few words. Mostly, and I know this has been said a bunch now, but obviously a big thank you to El Chapatado. I would like to say a quick apology to the community. Obviously, I sort of dropped the ball midway through this. Real life came up. I had to move. Things happen. But I would like to really say thank you to the community for understanding and being accepting of how shit went down. I only received 1 million PMs about it when I could have received several million. I would like to really say congratulations to everybody who won, and obviously condolences to people who didn't. I really hope even the people who didn't win stick around, because we're a pretty great, fantastic community, and there are tons of ways to get involved. What else? I don't know. You guys are all pretty great, and I think we've done, pretty successfully, pretty well. So have a good rest of the day, night, evening, whatever.
don't have them.
You check my my feed. I think I got all of them down. Thank you.